Darkness Falls Fleet Admiral Kira Navarro stood motionless on the observation deck of Centauri Station, watching as the holographic representation of Earth flickered and then vanished from the galactic display. For a moment she thought it was a technical malfunction. Systems glitches were common with equipment this complex, but the alarm klaxons that immediately followed confirmed her worst fears. "Status report," she demanded, her voice cutting through the growing chaos around her as staff officers rushed to their stations. "Admiral," her communications chief replied, voice tight with controlled panic. "We've lost all contact with Sol system. Not just standard channels, everything. Quantum entanglement relays, subspace frequencies, even the emergency protocols. Earth is silent." Kira fought to maintain her composure as the implications hit her. Earth wasn't just humanity's ancestral home. It was the heart of the Galactic Alliance, the technological and cultural center that bound 200 star systems together. For it to go completely dark without warning was unprecedented. "Launch reconnaissance probes," she ordered. "Priority clearance, full spectrum analysis. And get me the Alliance Council, immediately." As her staff scrambled to comply, Kira's personal communicator vibrated against her wrist. The message that appeared on its surface made her blood run cold. "Kira, it has begun. Trust no one. Find the Helios Protocol. This is not the end, but the beginning. Marcus Dr. Marcus Chen, her former mentor and Earth's leading quantum physicist." The timestamp showed the message had been sent mere moments before all communication with Earth ceased. Not a coincidence. "Admiral," her tactical officer called. "The probes have reached the edge of Sol system." The main display activated, showing the probe telemetry. The image was disturbingly mundane. Stars, the distant sun, the outer planets exactly where they should be. But as the probe approached Mars' orbit, something changed. A shimmer appeared in the vacuum of space, like heat waves rising from desert sand. The probe's telemetry became erratic, then terminated abruptly. "Second probe, same result," reported another officer. "Whatever's happening, it's creating some kind of barrier around the entire system." "It's not just a communications blackout," Kira realized aloud. "It's a complete quarantine. Nothing in, nothing out." The observation deck doors slid open, admitting General Victor Drayson, head of Alliance military operations. His perpetually severe expression had deepened into something approaching actual concern. "The Council is assembling an emergency session," he announced without preamble. "We're receiving reports of panic on colony worlds, and the financial networks are already in freefall. We need answers, Admiral Navarro." "I'm working on it, General," Kira replied, deliberately omitting any mention of Chen's message. Something in his warning to trust no one resonated with her instincts. "Has anything like this ever happened before? Even on a smaller scale?" "Never in recorded history," Drayson said, moving to study the tactical display. "A few colonies have gone dark temporarily due to natural phenomena, but an entire core system? Impossible without deliberate action." "You're suggesting this was intentional?" Kira asked, watching his reaction carefully. "I'm suggesting we need to consider all possibilities, including hostile action." Drayson's hand moved to the ceremonial sidearm he always wore, a gesture Kira had long ago identified as his tell when contemplating military options. "The Arcturus separatists have been developing new weapons technologies, as have the Voidborn Collective." Kira had barely registered the mention of the Voidborn when her aide approached, looking uncomfortable. "Admiral, there's a diplomatic envoy requesting an immediate audience with you, specifically you." "I'm a bit busy with an unprecedented crisis," Kira replied, irritation edging into her voice. "The envoy is from the Voidborn Collective," her aide continued, lowering her voice. "He claims to have critical information about what's happening to Earth." Kira and Drayson exchanged glances. The Voidborn rarely engaged in direct diplomacy, their civilization existing at the fringes of known space, isolated and mysterious. For them to send an envoy now at this precise moment, bring them to my ready room, Kira decided. "General, I suggest you attend the council meeting. Keep them from making any rash decisions until we have more information." Drayson frowned. "The Voidborn cannot be trusted, Admiral. Their evolutionary divergence from baseline humanity has made them unpredictable. I should be present for this meeting." "With respect, General, diplomatic first contact is my jurisdiction," Kira countered firmly. The Council needs your military expertise more than I do right now. After a moment of tension, Drayson relented with a curt nod. Very well, but I expect a full report immediately afterward. As he departed, Kira made her way to her private ready room, mind racing with possibilities. The Helios Protocol, she had never heard of it during her 15 years of service, including 5 as Fleet Admiral. Whatever it was, Marcus had deemed it important enough to be his final message before Earth went silent. The doors to her ready room slid open to reveal a figure standing by the viewport, gazing out at the stars. He turned as she entered, and Kira found herself momentarily startled by his appearance. The Voidborn were known to have evolved significant differences from baseline humans during their centuries of isolation in the radiation-heavy regions of the galactic rim, but seeing one in person was still striking. His skin was a deep purple that seemed to absorb and reflect light in unusual ways. His eyes were larger than human standard, with irises that shifted color subtly as he moved. Despite these differences, his form remained recognizably humanoid, a living testament to humanity's adaptability across environments never meant for their survival. Admiral Navarro, he greeted her, his voice resonant with an unusual harmonic quality. I am Zeth Loran, emissary of the Voidborn Collective. I come bearing warning and offering assistance. Regarding Earth? Kira asked directly, bypassing diplomatic niceties. Regarding what is happening to Earth, he clarified, and what will soon happen to many more worlds if action is not taken. You know what caused this silence? Zeth Loran moved toward her desk, his movements fluid and precise. Not what caused it, but what it represents. We have seen this pattern before, Admiral. My ancestors recorded it in the histories of dead civilizations we discovered at the edge of the void. What pattern? Kira asked, her patience wearing thin with his enigmatic responses. Silence is rarely the absence of communication, Zeth Loran said, his shifting eyes fixing on hers with surprising intensity. Sometimes it is communication itself, the most urgent message of all. Speak plainly, emissary. Earth has gone dark. Billions of lives are potentially at risk. Earth has not gone dark, Admiral, he corrected gently. Earth has gone silent deliberately. It has activated ancient protocols designed for containment, not communication, and it is not the only world that will do so. Before Kira could demand further explanation, her tactical officer's voice came through the comm system. Admiral, we're receiving reports of communication failures from Nueva Terra and Proxima Centauri colonies. The same pattern as Earth, complete silence, no warning. Zeth Loran's expression remained calm, but something like sadness passed through his eyes. It has begun then. Faster than we anticipated. What has begun? Kira demanded, a chill running through her as she recalled Marcus's identical words. The implementation of the Helios Protocol, he replied, his gaze sharpening at her visible reaction. You know of it. Only the name, she admitted reluctantly. Mentioned in a message from a colleague on Earth, sent moments before contact was lost. Zeth Loran studied her for a moment, as if making a decision. Your colleague showed remarkable foresight. The protocol is not widely known, even among those who helped create it. It was designed as a last resort against a threat few understand and fewer believe exists. Kira's communication panel chimed again, this time with General Drayson's identification. Admiral, the Council is demanding your presence. 3 more colony systems have gone silent. They're voting on a military response within the hour. Kira silenced the communication without replying, her focus entirely on the Voidborn emissary. What threat could possibly warrant isolating entire star systems without warning? What could be worse than the panic and chaos this silence is already causing? There are things in the depths between stars that hunger for more than resources or territory, Admiral. Zeth Loran replied, his voice dropping to near whisper. Things that were old when your ancestors were still climbing from the oceans. The silence is not the threat, it is the shield against something far worse. The station shuddered slightly as distant defense systems activated, a standard precaution during high alerts. The movement brought Kira and Zeth Loran momentarily closer, and she noticed a faint, pleasant scent from his skin, something like ozone and spice. I need more than cryptic warnings, emissary, she said, maintaining her composure despite their proximity. If you have information that can help us understand what's happening, I need it now. What I have is incomplete, he admitted, but I can help you find the rest. Your colleague mentioned the Helios protocol for a reason. He would have left a way to access it, a key for someone he trusted. Kira thought of Marcus's message again, the urgency behind his words. They had been close once, mentor and protege, before politics and her military career had created distance between them. He would have encoded the information somehow, protected it from those he didn't trust. We need to access his research, she decided aloud. His private laboratory on Luna would contain his most sensitive work. Luna is within Sol's system, Zeth Loren reminded her, behind the silence barrier. Then we find another way, Kira replied, military decisiveness reasserting itself. Marcus had research outposts throughout Alliance space. If the Helios protocol is as important as both of you suggest, he wouldn't have centralized all information in one location. Her personal terminal chimed with an incoming message, this one from an unexpected source. The sender was listed as Eliana West, a name Kira recognized as one of Marcus's research associates. The message was brief. Admiral, if you're receiving this, Marcus's failsafe has activated. The Aurora facility has what you need. Coordinates attached. Come alone. Time is critical. Eliana attached were navigation coordinates to a system at the edge of Alliance space, unmarked on official charts but clearly specified in the data. It seems your colleague was indeed prepared, Zeth Loren observed, having read the message over her shoulder. The question now is whether you trust his judgment enough to act on it. Kira studied the void-born emissary, weighing her options. Alliance protocols dictated clear procedures for situations like this. Report to the Council, deploy reconnaissance in force, establish a secure perimeter around affected systems. But something in Marcus's warning to trust no one resonated with her instincts, honed through years of command decisions. I need a ship with advanced scanning capabilities and minimal crew, she said finally. Something that won't be missed from the fleet immediately. The collective has vessels better suited for approaching silence barriers, Zeth Loren offered. Our evolutionary adaptations include resistance to certain quantum effects that might be in play. Why would you help us? Kira asked directly. The Voidborn have maintained isolation from Alliance affairs for generations. Why involve yourselves now? Something like a smile touched Zeth Loren's features. Because silence spreads, Admiral Navarro. Today it is Earth. Tomorrow it could be our worlds as well. Some threats transcend political boundaries. Before she could respond, the station's emergency alert system activated, bathing the ready room in pulsing red light. All personnel, this is not a drill, announced an automated voice. Multiple unidentified vessels have appeared near Proxima Centauri. Colony has gone silent. Defense Condition Alpha is now in effect. They're following a pattern, Zeth Loren said quietly, a mathematical sequence I've seen in ancient records. The silence will spread system by system unless we find a way to understand it, to communicate with it. Decision crystallized in Kira's mind. I have access to a long-range scout vessel. Officially signing it out would require Council approval. But I know the override codes. That would constitute a serious breach of protocol, Admiral, Zeth Loren observed, though his tone suggested approval rather than criticism. We're well beyond standard protocols, Kira replied, already accessing the secure terminal to arrange their departure. If Earth activated this Helios protocol deliberately, there must be a reason, and if Marcus wanted me to find it, I won't let him down. As emergency klaxons continued to sound throughout the station, Kira made her final preparations. Whatever waited at the Aurora facility might provide answers to the silence enveloping Earth, or lead them into dangers beyond imagination. Either way, she had made her choice. The stars themselves seemed to watch with cold indifference as humanity's homeworld remained enveloped in its self-imposed silence, its absence from the galactic community creating a void that threatened to consume everything Kira had sworn to protect. Whispers in the dark, the scout vessel. Artemis dropped out of hyperspace at the edge of the Carina Nebula, its stealth systems immediately engaging as Kira guided it into the swirling cosmic dust. The nebula's radiation would help mask their presence from Alliance tracking systems, buying them precious time before their unauthorized departure from Centauri Station was discovered. Beautiful, Zeth Loren remarked from the co-pilot's seat, his purple skin taking on an ethereal glow in the light of the nebula displayed across the viewscreen. My people believe nebulae are the thoughts of the universe made visible, dreams taking physical form. Poetic, Kira replied. though her focus remained on the navigation console as she input the coordinates from Eliana West's message. The Aurora facility should be approximately 6 hours from our position, hidden in an asteroid field within the nebula. In the 12 hours since their departure, reports of silent worlds had increased exponentially. 7 major colony systems had gone dark, each following the same pattern. Complete communication blackout followed by the appearance of the mysterious barrier that prevented all approach. The Alliance Council had declared an official state of emergency, and General Drayson had been granted extraordinary powers to address the threat by any means necessary. "You're taking a significant risk," Zeth Loren observed, watching as she plotted their course. "Abandoning your post during a crisis of this magnitude would normally constitute treason. If I'm right, this isn't abandonment, it's the only meaningful response possible," Kira countered, though the weight of her decision hung heavy on her shoulders. 15 years of exemplary service, potentially sacrificed on the word of a mentor she hadn't spoken to in years, and an alien emissary she had just met. "The Helios Protocol," Zeth Loren said thoughtfully. "The name itself is significant. In ancient Earth mythology, Helios was the god who drove the sun across the sky each day, bringing light to the world. And what does that tell us about its purpose? Perhaps that it was designed to illuminate something hidden," he suggested, "or to maintain a cycle necessary for survival." As the Artemis navigated deeper into the nebula, the ship's sensors detected increasing levels of unusual quantum fluctuations, ripples in space-time that defied standard physics. "These readings," Kira noted with growing concern, "they're similar to the anomalies reported at the edge of Sol system before we lost contact with the probes." "The silence leaves traces," Zeth Loren confirmed. "Quantum echoes of the barrier. They're weaker here, but present nonetheless." "Could the Aurora facility be affected?" she asked, adjusting their course to avoid a particularly dense region of fluctuations. "Possible, but unlikely if Dr. Chen established it as a failsafe. He would have incorporated protective measures against what he was studying." A proximity alarm suddenly blared through the cockpit. 3 vessels had appeared on the long-range scanner, approaching rapidly from the direction of Centauri Prime. Alliance patrol cruisers, Kira identified, recognizing their signature, heavy weapons configuration. "They're on an intercept course." "It seems General Drayson noticed your absence sooner than anticipated," Zeth Loren observed calmly, though his skin darkened slightly in what Kira was beginning to recognize as an indication of concern. As they continued toward the coordinates, Kira found herself increasingly curious about her unusual companion. The Voidborn remained largely mysterious to Alliance, knowledge, a branch of humanity, that had voluntarily exiled themselves generations ago to the most dangerous regions of space for reasons never fully explained. "Your people," she began tentatively, "they chose isolation from the rest of humanity. Yet here you are, involving yourself in what could be considered an internal Alliance matter." Zeth Loren was silent for a moment before responding. "Our isolation was never intended to be permanent, merely necessary. We needed time to adapt to what we discovered in the void, to become something capable of facing it." "And what exactly did you discover there?" His eyes met hers, their color shifting to a deep violet that seemed to contain depths beyond their physical presence. "The same thing Earth has now encountered. The same thing the Helios Protocol was designed to contain." Before Kira could press for clarification, the ship's sensors detected their approach to the coordinates Eliana had provided. The Aurora facility came into view, a research station built into a massive asteroid, nearly invisible against the nebula's backdrop due to advanced camouflage technology. "No active energy signatures," Kira noted with concern. "Life support appears to be running on emergency power." "Yet no signs of damage or forced entry," Zeth Loren added, studying the sensor readings. Whatever happened here was controlled, not catastrophic. They docked the Artemis at the facility's main airlock, the connection process completing automatically despite the station's apparent power limitations. As they prepared to board, Kira checked her sidearm, a standard-issue Alliance pulse pistol, while noting that Zeth Loren carried no visible weapons. "Stay behind me," she instructed as the airlock cycled open, revealing darkened corridors beyond. "We don't know what we'll find inside." "I suspect we'll find answers," he replied calmly. though perhaps not the ones we're expecting. Emergency lighting activated automatically as they entered, casting eerie blue shadows through corridors that showed signs of recent abandonment. Research tablets still on desks, half-empty coffee cups, personal items left behind as if their owners had departed in haste rather than panic. The facility was evacuated in an organized manner, Kira observed, examining a security terminal that still functioned on backup power. Roughly 72 hours ago, coinciding with Earth going silent, which suggests Dr. Chen anticipated the event, Zeth Loren concluded. The silence was not unexpected, merely its timing. They made their way deeper into the facility, following directional indicators toward the central research hub. Most doors opened automatically with Kira's Admiral authentication, suggesting the security systems recognized her as authorized, despite the evacuation protocols. The central hub, when they reached it, was a circular chamber dominated by a massive holographic projection system currently powered down, surrounded by research stations dedicated to various specialized functions. What caught Kira's attention immediately, however, was a terminal at the room's center that remained fully powered. A single message displayed on its screen: voice print authentication required. The stars are not silent, merely patient. It's keyed to recognize specific individuals, Kira realized. A security measure to ensure only authorized personnel can access whatever information it contains. Dr. Chen expected you specifically, Zeth Loren noted. The phrase must be something meaningful between you. Kira approached the terminal, memory stirring at the prompt. Years ago, when she had been a young officer studying under Marcus's mentorship, he had often used philosophical observations to illustrate scientific principles. This particular phrase had been part of a conversation about the nature of cosmic background radiation, the lingering echo of the universe's birth. The stars are not silent, merely patient, she recited, the words feeling strange yet familiar on her tongue. The terminal hummed to life, the facility's power system suddenly surging as hidden generators activated. The central holographic projector illuminated, displaying a life-sized image of Dr. Marcus Chen as Kira had last seen him 5 years earlier. Distinguished, composed, his eyes reflecting the intensity that had made him Earth's preeminent quantum physicist. Kira, the hologram greeted her with a warm smile that didn't quite reach his eyes. If you're viewing this message, then Earth has implemented the Helios Protocol, and you've followed the breadcrumbs I left for you. I always knew your curiosity would outweigh your caution when it mattered most. The hologram turned slightly, seeming to notice Zeth Loren with a look of mild surprise. And you've brought a void-born representative. Interesting, perhaps more efficient than I anticipated. This is a sophisticated program, Zeth Loren observed. Adaptive responses beyond standard holographic interfaces. Not a program, the hologram corrected. A quantum consciousness imprint, a copy of my mind created moments before the protocol was activated. Limited but sufficient for its purpose, which is, Kira asked, struggling to process the implications of such technology, which far exceeded Alliance capabilities. To explain what's happening, why Earth has gone silent and what you must do next, the holographic Chen replied. But first a warning, we have very little time. The silence is spreading precisely as our models predicted, and there are those who will try to stop you from completing what must be done. As if in response to his warning, the facility's security system suddenly blared to life, proximity alerts indicating multiple vessels approaching. Unauthorized ships detected, announced the automated system, matching Alliance military configurations. Hostile intent probable. It seems General Drayson is more resourceful than we anticipated, Zeth Loren observed calmly, though his skin darkened further with concern. The Aurora facility has defensive capabilities, Chen's hologram informed them, but they won't hold indefinitely against a determined military assault. Tell us what we need to know, Kira urged, aware of the precious minutes ticking away. What is the Helios Protocol? Why has Earth gone silent? Not silent, Chen corrected, his expression grave. Protected. Isolated from what's coming, what's already here. The holographic display shifted, showing a three-dimensional representation of what appeared to be normal space, but with subtle distortions rippling through it like waves across water. 30 years ago, a research team on Earth discovered something in the quantum substructure of reality. Chen explained, a pattern that shouldn't exist, a consciousness that exists between dimensions rather than within them. The void, Zeth Loren whispered, his voice tinged with recognition. Yes, Chen confirmed, glancing at the voidborn with newfound interest. Though we called it the echo, a reflection of thought that feeds on thought. For decades we studied it, believing we could control it, communicate with it.